So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to make a custom opt-in form for your AdSense sites, and the reasons to do this is, first of all, to collect leads so you can market to them later, obviously sending them CPA offers or ClickBank offers or Amazon offers or whatever you want. The other reason is it helps your site look more authoritative, and it helps show that you care about your site visitors, and it also shows Google that you are monetizing your site by other means other than just AdSense, and it also shows the potential advertisers to your site, if they stop by and take a look at your site, that it's a legitimate site with a loyal following. So having an opt-in form and a free ebook really does help you stand out from other AdSense sites, because it shows that you're someone that cares about your readers and someone that cares about your website. And you can do this with a regular Aweber form. You don't have to make it custom, but the reason that I like to make them custom is because it just helps with the branding of your site, and it shows that you really do care. Anyone can throw up a quick opt-in form, but it doesn't look that good, and it also doesn't really help show you as authoritative. So the first thing in order to start this process is you need to know the size of your sidebar. The size of the AdSense block that you're going to be putting in there is 160 wide. So the size of your sidebar needs to be at least 180, I would say, or 170 at least. You want to be at least 10 bigger than your ad block, so you have a little space in your sidebar. So I usually make my sidebars about 200 for if I'm going to be doing an opt-in form. So as you can see here on this example site, this is one of the $200 sites. It's actually only a 6-pager, but this is the Aweber theme. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but I like this theme a lot. It's kind of a thesis wannabe. It's a free one. But anyways, if you look, it's 200 for the left sidebar, and it's easy to configure. So make your sidebar the right size. In this case 200 will be perfect, so you can fit your ad block in there, and you can fit a nice size opt-in form in there. So this is the wide skyscraper that I put in the sidebar usually, and so you can see it's 160 wide, and when I put this ad block in the sidebar, it actually doesn't have the border around it, so it blends in much better with the website. So now that you know where we're putting this opt-in form and what else is going to be in the sidebar, we can get started on the next step, which is going to be to start the actual creating of the opt-in form. So let's go to Photoshop here, and I'll show you guys a quick way to do this. We're using Photoshop Elements in this case because I use Elements for a lot of the simple stuff because there's less options and I can do things faster. I also have the real Photoshop, which I use for landing pages and slicing images and more complicated stuff, but I find that Elements is more than easy enough for what we're doing here. And you can copy these same steps in regular Photoshop if that's what you have, or if you have GIMP or any other free kind of photo editing software. So just understand the concepts here. It's not really that technical. So you're just going to open up, in this case I'm going to open up one I already have made, but I'll go through the whole thing for you and show you exactly what to do from scratch. But I just forgot exactly how big, so that's why I'm opening this one here. So as you can see, I have an opt-in template, and basically it's a little skinnier than the sidebar, and it's the size is actually 384, or I'm sorry, 184 by 325. So you can see I have a fancy ebook cover in there, which you may not have access to that, but you don't have to use that. You can use anything. And this example we're about to make, I'm actually just going to use a logo for the site, which is fine. So obviously, in order to even set this up, you have to have a freebie to give away. and I'll do a different video about that. Basically, we're just going to make a PDF of the entire site, so that works pretty well. So as you can see, create a blank file, and let me get the size right here. There we go. So we got a blank file. It's going to fit in the sidebar. So now we can begin customizing this thing and making it look nice for our site. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make the headline, and you're going to want to make this something that matches with the color scheme of your site. But for this case, we're just going to go with a red to grab attention. And this is literally your opt-in form. So think of it as your opt-in form. You're trying to accomplish two things. You want to get their attention, make them want what you've got, and collect their email. So basically, we're going to start with Get Free Guide, and I'm going to choose a font that most people have, because I have a ton of fonts. I do a lot of Photoshop work. One of my favorite fonts that all of you should have is Tahoma. And let me try that again. Looks like I slipped. Tahoma is a really nice font that all browsers can read, and it's really clean and simple, and I use it on a lot of opt-in forms. So we're going to go with Tahoma, then we're going to bold it, and there we go. Get Free Guide. And I'm just making this generic. I'm not sure I would use Get Free Guide, but you get the point. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have some kind of branding image to help it look like part of your website. And I've already got one here, so let me go ahead and get that real quick. Okay, so now I've got the logo that I made, and you can get one of these from Fiverr, or you can just make it yourself. So that's the logo for the site, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the opt-in form, center it. This part's all pretty self-explanatory, but I just want to show you anyway to remove any kind of technical roadblocks. So you just kind of drag and drop from your source file and drop it in there, and now we're going to write the kind of the call to action. And since this site is about fashion designer, becoming a fashion designer, we're going to want to pique their interest by saying learn how to become a fashion designer for free, because that's pretty tempting if you're trying to become a fashion designer. You don't want to make it too salesy or too spammy, but you know, you're trying to collect leads, and you're trying to make it look to everyone else that you're giving something of value away to your readers. That's kind of one of the main reasons we're doing this, is to just make your site look like you have a real readership and you care about it. So that's pretty good. We're just going to go ahead and set it in there. And you want to keep in mind while you're doing this, on the bottom of your form you're going to leave enough space for the Aweber actual form and the button that you're about to make, because you don't want to use Aweber's standard buttons. They look like garbage, and it's a super easy, fast step that you can do, and it just makes your opt-in form and your site look so much better. For the enter your email part, I always try to do a different color if I can, just to kind of give it some design elements and to kind of get away from that crazy red. So now it's just kind of starting to look a little bit more like the color scheme of the site. I'm going to shrink it up a little bit. Like I said before, I need to leave room on the bottom for the form and the button. So there we go. Now we're just kind of getting this thing spaced out and designed correctly. Now the next thing I usually do is I'm going to go ahead and put a little border on this thing. Just a real simple line around the outside. So I go over to the little square creating tool. I'm not even sure what it's called inside Photoshop, but it's the little square thing. So there. Now I'm just gonna go just to the edge, highlight the whole thing, and then we're gonna create a new layer. And I'm sure there's a faster way to do this, but I do it the way I do it. So there's a layer. We're going to call it border, and now we're going to go ahead and go to select inverse, and now we're going to drop our paint bucket in there, and we're going to use this lavender color. Kind of matches with the site. So we'll drop that in there and then deselect, take a look at it. There, it looks pretty good. Looks like we got to move the get the free guide down a little bit. It's kind of squished. There we go. And now the logo, yeah, that looks pretty good. So there we have kind of the basic opt-in form with a nice border. And now it's time to get the button and get the whole thing set up with Aweber. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I have a button I already made, but here's how you do it from the start. We're going to make it 160 by 30. So we're going to go to create new, put in the dimensions 160. I made that too big, so let's 160 by 30. And it should make us a nice little blank square. Then we're going to get the rounded rectangle and just draw it into that new file that we just made. And we're going to want this to be that lavender color again. Kind of matches the border. I always try to make the button the same color as the frame or the border. Then we're just going to go ahead and make white text, and we're going to put download in the button. You always want to put the action that you want them to take. So obviously they're going to download a free ebook. You want to put download in there. Then we're just going to save this file, call it button 2. Alright, so now we have the file saved and the opt-in form. So now we have to upload these files to our website so that Aweber can find them. So give me a second. So we're going to go to media, upload media, and I'm just going to drop these in there real quick. 1 second. So I uploaded the files to my WordPress site, and now I went into my Aweber account, and it's going to have the default opt-in form. We're just going to delete the header, we're going to delete everything, pretty much, the footer, the header. We're going to delete name, and we're going to make the background clear. There we go. We don't want that name field. We're just going to do email. And I actually don't even want to keep the email label, so we'll just delete that. And we're going to put the email as a value in there so people will know what it's for. So we'll type your email at email.com. And then when they click in there, that'll automatically disappear. So now instead of having a big ugly email label, we just have that. So I think that looks much nicer. First thing we're going to do is get rid of that ugly button and put our custom button in there. So the way to do that is you go to Advanced, and then you're going to put your URL for the image. You're going to just get that from your WordPress site. So you go to Media, then go to the file that you put in there, Control A, Control C, Control V into the button image field, and enter. And now you're going to center it. That's how you center it. And you can see it looks nice in there. Now we're going to have to do your body form. So you're going to go ahead and do your URL to your WordPress site where you have your image hosted. So to go ahead and open the image and copy it. Copy the URL location. Paste it in there. Enter. And it's going to show up. So you're going to resize it until it kind of fits in there. And leave your padding, see the padding fields there? Leave those both at 15. Then you break the chain there for your up and downs. And now this is where you have to experiment a little bit. So 240 kind of pushes it down like that, and this is going to move your field. So 235 isn't quite low enough. We're going to go with maybe 224. No, it's wrong direction. 240, a little more. Still touching email. 243, looks pretty good. Okay, so now look how long the form is. That's how long it's going to be. That's not good. So we want to make that, in this field, we're going to make this a small number. So if we put 0, it cuts off the bottom. So we'll do maybe 5. Still not right, so we'll try 10. Looks great. So you just have to experiment with these, but if you copy this exact template I give you, you can use this. So then you're going to go to center, top center, and now it's going to make your form look centered and nice. So there, now you have a custom Aweber form, just like that. So you save it, and then you're going to go to your, name it something, and obviously you're going to have set up a list and do a thank you page and things, but this is just about making the form. I'll teach you the rest of that if you don't know how to do that. I'll make another video tomorrow or something. So we have an opt-in form, we have it named, and we saved it. Click publish. I will install my form. You're going to grab the JavaScript. The reason we use JavaScript, or I use JavaScript, is because I always end up tweaking these a little bit, and when you use JavaScript, when you tweak the form from inside Aweber, it automatically populates the new version of the form on your website, so you don't have to go back and forth pasting HTML code. That drives me insane. So now we're going to go to our widgets, and we're going to need a text widget for this, because text allows you to do HTML. So there we go, we have one set up already, so I'm going to paste the new code in. Done. Save it, and now we're going to take a look and see how it looks on the site. And I went ahead and pasted a fake ad on there just so you can see how it will look when you're all done with the ad. And you can center that if you wanted. It looks pretty good left aligned. Keep in mind that frame around the ad won't be there in the real Google ads, because obviously you're not going to want a border when you set up your ad blocks. It's just silly. I don't know why you would do a border. You want it to kind of blend into your content. So there it is, centered. So you know, that kind of shows you how it will look. And if you're concerned about the ad block being so close to an image, I guess the opt-in form could be considered an image. If you want to be a little safer, you can insert something between the opt-in form and the ad block. So you're going to want to put something small in there so that the top of the ad block still sticks up above the fold. So in this case, we'll just use the site pages. So I'll grab the widget from where it is already and drop it up in that other sidebar. And then I'm going to copy the ad code, which is really just an image in this case. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that in another text widget, put that below my site pages, and the end result is going to be the opt-in form followed by site pages followed by Google ads. So this way you're not concerned about the ad block being too close to an image. So there you go. That's how you would set up an opt-in form in the sidebar, a custom opt-in form in the sidebar that helps your site look authoritative and actually gets you leads and makes you look good to Google and makes you look really good to advertisers, because for all they know you have a 2,000 person readership. They're going to want to advertise on your site. So it's just helpful all around. It's something that you can do. It doesn't take long once you know how to do it, and it increases the value of your website. And it increases the authority of your website, at least the perceived authority. And also you can make money with it, marketing to your leads later on. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a file that you can have all the instructions, and I'll give you these files, the Photoshop files, so you have templates to work with. And I hope this is helpful to you. It's something that you could do and you should do on some of your sites that are in the kind of niches that this might be helpful with. Even if you don't get a lot of leads, it's going to help the perceived authority of your site and the value of your site if you ever flip it. And it's just another way to make more money. So I recommend trying this out and seeing how it goes. So thanks for watching. All these resources will be available below this video, and I hope this was useful to you. And also, the new batch of sites coming out in a couple days are going to have these email opt-in forms and PDFs and thank you pages, and the whole funnel is going to be set up for you, just to kind of help you guys get an idea how to do this. Thanks.